The African continent is home to many different cultures and people and countries that have their own way of doing things. And within a continent of 53 countries, it makes it the continent with the most amount of countries. And within that chunk of land, there are many great stories of rich history where we discover the strength and pride of great, amazing people and nations. And today on FTD Facts, we explore a country that represents just that. This is the country, people, and culture of the beautiful and the only Morocco. Hey everybody, how's it going? Dave Walpole here, and welcome to FTD Facts, the channel where we talk about people, cultures, and places from all around the world. Now, today we are talking about Morocco, and I am always excited to learn about a new place. I've been actually wanting to learn about Morocco for a while. Now, first of all, you might be wondering why. Well, it's just a really cool country, and I know, for me, like, one of my favorite movies is Casablanca, and, like, it's just a beautiful, beautiful movie, and if you guys haven't seen it, seriously, get off your butts, stop watching Marvel movies, and watch some old school art. You won't be, disappointed. And the other reason I'm just really excited about this whole thing is because here on the channel, every single time we release a new video, we always throw out into our community section, we do polls, asking you guys which of 3 or 4 different countries you guys want to hear next, and you guys sounded off and you said Morocco, and I'm really happy that you guys said so. So here's the video. Let's get right to it. Okay, before we get in this video though, few quick things. First of all, generally here on the channel, we like to do a lot of part 2s to our country videos. And of course, we sometimes miss a lot of facts. So if you guys want a part 2, hit those like buttons, because if we get over 3,000 likes, we know to do a part 2. And if we miss any facts, be sure to put it down there in the comment section below, or you can follow me on Instagram at any time. But let's get rolling with it. So Morocco, okay, we probably think of the maracas when we think of Morocco. As a matter of fact, I think of Morocco, I'm always like, it's Morocco, like it's a Spanish country, right? But however, it's actually a lot more of that. Now let's take a quick look at the population of this country. First of all, as of a 2017 estimate, it has approximately 35,740,000 people. Now keep in mind, they have not done a census within the country since 2014, which many of you may be like, that was like 3 years ago. It's actually not that bad. Some countries don't do it for like 10, 15, 20 years. And back then, the country's population was approximately 32,746,871. And the crazy part about that is it ranked 39th in the world when it came to population. I always thought Morocco was a little bit smaller than that, but hey, this is what we're learning. Now, probably the biggest thing when we look at Morocco on a map, one thing is that it has a disputed territory, and that is the Western Sahara. But crazy enough, it's not disputing this land with another country, but with its own indigenous people, known as the Sahrawi people, who claim the land as the Polisario Front. So because of that, the land size within the country ranks either 40th or 57th, so let's break it down a little bit more. For example, with the Western Sahara, the land size of the entire country would be 710,850 kilometers square, ranking 40th. However, without it, Morocco sits at 446,550 kilometers square, ranking 57th. And somewhere within there, it says the density is approximately 79 people per square kilometer, but I'm really not sure if that's with the Western Sahara Desert or without the Western Sahara Desert. I'm really not sure. Now, like I said, when I think of Morocco, I do think it's a very Latin country, but let's take a look into it and let's see what kind of people actually live here. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, it's the word Maraca. It's, I think Morocco, I think Spain, I think Espanol. It's in my brain, I can't help it. Now, first of all, according to the 2014 census, the largest group of people were approximately ages 1 to 4, equaling approximately 9.82%. The second largest group was 20 to 24, equaling 8.91%, and 10 to 14-year-olds were approximately 8.89% of the entire population. But however, when it comes to this country, we should also mention that it has a high percentage of Muslims, which within the country, it equals about 98.8% of the people. It's pretty nuts. I guess my Spanish theory is just out the window. And of the Muslim population, about 67% actually identify as non-denominational Muslims. There's also Shia Muslims that are within the country that make up a small percentage as well, and there are other religions that are very, very small as well. If I say as well one more time, I'm going to kill myself. Now, within Morocco, it has actually 2 official languages, which blew me away. I did not think that at all. And the 2 big ones are Moroccan Arabic, which is the main language, and approximately 80 to 90% of the people speak it. However, also about 20 to 30% of the population speak the second language, known as Berber. Now, for this particular language, it didn't become an official language until about 2011, so it's still rather new. Not the language isn't new, it's just, its status within the country is new. Yeah. And for those who don't know, Berber is considered an Afro-Asiatic language, which Arabic falls within this family. Now, there's really no official numbers of how many people speak this. They say it's anywhere between 8 to 12 million people within the country. And because of that, they theorize that this country has the highest amount of Berber speakers of any country in the entire world. Now, as for foreign languages, the biggest here are French, with about 30 to 40% of the people who speak it. 21% speak Spanish, and as for English, it's far below 14%. Now, let's move right along and let's talk about Moolah, because we all want to know what's behind the economic power of Morocco, right? Yeah. Now, for its purchasing power parity, in which we use for GDP, it comes in at $3,556 billion. However, stretching that out per capita, it does have a low per capita GDP, coming in at $8,612. However, for that GDP, we use the International Monetary Fund, and because of that, Morocco sits at 56th in the world. And to break this down even further, let's take a quick look at some of the exports. Now, exports come in at a total of $27.5 billion, ranking 60th in the world, and about 12% of their exports are cars, 9.9% is insulated wire, and of course 7.6% is mixed and chemical fertilizers. But for all these exports, when it comes to the money that Morocco makes, the biggest sector is agriculture. Oh yeah. This is because it employs about 40% of the entire workforce of the entire country, and some of the biggest things that the agriculture produces are tomatoes, which are one of the biggest agricultural earner of all countries in the world. As a matter of fact, in 2016, Morocco had an average 5,000 hectares of tomato farms, while producing approximately 556,000 tons a year. And if you were to take every single person that works for the tomato industry and combine them together, all the accumulated workdays would equal 9 million workdays a year. That's nuts. On top of that, Morocco is also well known for fish, and it's also been said that Morocco has the largest fish market in all of Africa. And as for that, it accounts for 3% of the total GDP of Morocco. And diving a little further, it's been said that it makes up for 56% of the agriculture and 16% of exports. However, that's just been said. I'm not sure exactly what year that was stated, and yeah, so either way, fishing is quite a lot. But however, for an exact amount, in 2005, they produced approximately 936,961 tons of fish. And because of that, they rank about 24th in the world when it comes to fish production. But however, one of the biggest things that we got to talk about when it comes to Morocco is cannabis. They are extraordinarily famous for it, or infamous, depending on how you want to look at it. As a matter of fact, several times in history, Morocco has been the top exporter of hashish in the world, and even held that title as the #1 in 2016. Crazy part is they produce a lot. It's actually illegal to smoke it within the country. Don't ask me how that works. The reason for this is because it's pretty much a giant gray zone of growing and producing it. As for taking drugs, it is illegal, but there is a major push to have it legal, especially for medical uses. And to give you an idea of how much these guys produce on a global scale, in 2003, they produced 70% of all of Europe's needs for, well, I guess hashish or marijuana or whatever you want to call it, cannabis. Now, although Morocco may be a kingdom having a king, it is actually a parliamentary system, and it is classified as a unitary sovereign state, and the country has been somewhat of a unique nation in history. For example, it got its statehood in 788 under the Idrisid dynasty. And throughout history, the country has seen 7 different dynasties, with the current one being the Alawite dynasty, which began in 1666. Now, one thing that many people may think about this country is that Casablanca is the capital of the country, partially due to the fact that probably people think that, like, you know, the movie Casablanca, it's got to be the center of Morocco, but that's actually not true. Because although Casablanca may be the largest city within Morocco, with a metro population of 6,861,739 people as of 2014, Casablanca is considered one of the largest and most important cities in all of Africa, as it is considered a major player for trade. But as for the capital, that's got to go to Rabat, which has a metro population of 1.2 million people. And although it's smaller, it should be noted that in 2013, CNN rated it as the second top cities to travel to in the entire world. And although Morocco got its independence in 1955, the city of Rabat remained capital. And it is also considered one of 4 imperial cities in Morocco, and because of that, it's been a World Heritage Site since 2012. Now, a little bit of a culture shock. Did you know in Morocco, apparently it's a no-go, it's not really nice to do this if you handle food with your left hand? Which really sucks because I'm left-hand dominant, and I do things with my right, but like I'll eat an apple with it, I'll use a spoon and fork, and I may get in trouble there. And also, it's rather rude to not eat meat if it's offered at meals. So for all you vegans out there, just saying, you better be careful. You know, you might just piss somebody off if somebody says, hey, you want some chicken? And you go, no, I'm sorry, I don't eat chicken. They may go, what? Well, this is tradition. Sorry, it's the way it is. You gotta eat it. Oh, and by the way, it's also really impolite to call somebody over with your index finger. Don't ever do that in Morocco because they will get really mad. I mean, I don't think calling somebody over like this, unless it's kind of cute, like, hey, you come on over here, you know? Yeah, you, come on. We're going to go make out in that corner. Yeah. Now, one last thing that I really want to mention when it comes to Morocco is that their energy is really a good thing for the country. Now, of course, when I tell you guys that most of Morocco's energy currently is provided by coal, some of you guys may be like, oh, that's so bad for the environment. But they're actually trying to change that. Because currently the country has a plan to go with a lot of green and renewable energy. And firstly, the Tarifaya wind farm is the largest wind farm in all of the African continent, with 131 wind turbines producing 301 megawatts of energy. And it's not going to stop there, guys, because the country has a goal to get half of its energy use to being provided by renewable energy sources. That was really hard to say. I don't know why. This is because some of their plans is to have wind farms create over 2,000 megawatts of energy. And as for solar, in 2014, the country approved the building of the Noor Concentrated Solar Power Project, which is actually near completion and is set to be the world's largest concentrated solar power plant. That's amazing. And when it is completed, it is estimated to give over 560 megawatts of energy. And that's just one simple plant. That's pretty amazing. But either way, guys, that is just a quick overview of some of the amazing things that Morocco is doing to better itself as a country, and some of the interesting things that the country already has going for it. But my name is Dave Wapple, and thank you guys for tuning in and really learning about Morocco. Guys, I love when we get an opportunity to talk about great countries, and you guys from other countries around the world like to jump in and get in on the conversation and get in on the know. Speaking of which, guys, for our part 2s, remember, hit those like buttons if you guys want a part 2, because if we go over 3,000 likes, we will do a part 2. And if you guys know any facts that we missed, put them down there. Or if you guys want, hit me up on Instagram. I'm always reading your comments. I'm always down to have a DM conversation with you guys. You can reach out with me directly. But we learned today about the country of Morocco, an amazing place that is different from others and has its own breath, its own life, and its own unique path. This is the country of Morocco, a people, a place of progress, joy, and inner beauty. So thanks for watching, guys. By the way, here's some other countries that you guys should check out and some other videos that you guys might like from us, because we're always learning, we're always teaching, and we're always learning with you guys. So hit that subscribe button and that bell notification, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Cool. Bye.